At Boss, we have a manifesto. We're not just tool makers, we're time liberators. Consider us the intersection of efficiency and innovation. Our mission here is simple. We build new age tools that allow you to work smarter, not harder, because in life, every minute counts. Every tool we make is purpose-built to flip the script. We should all work to live, not live to work. Why? Because we believe in the American dream. We believe in the American worker, and we believe in America the idea. Build a better future faster with Boss. Hi guys, welcome to this episode of Born Here, Built Here. My name is Dan Raymond, and I have a very special guest here today. This gentleman's name is Sam. I'm going to let him introduce himself, and then we're going to dive right into some very, very interesting subjects. So, Sam, good to have you here. So, the floor is yours right now, so introduce yourself.
Yeah, good morning, Dan. Sam Palmeter. I'm your neighbor.
Yes, you are.
The owner of Laser Marking Technologies.
Okay. We've known each other going back in time. My involvement in commercial construction as well as yours. How many years has it been? We talked about that, I think, 2-3 weeks ago.
Right.
It's been in excess of 20 years, right?
Absolutely. It's been since 1993, I think, is when we were on a common project. There was a school going up in Harbor Beach.
1993.
Yeah.
Time has flown.
Yeah.
It clicks right on by. So you are an electrician?
By trade, yeah, a master electrician.
Master electrician. I'm glad to hear that because at Boss Hammer, we support the trades wholeheartedly. It's a big deal. I know you hear it and you saw it. We're starving for tradespeople. And so you are a master electrician. Mm-hmm. And at some point in time, our affiliation became stronger because you own LMT, Laser Marking Technologies, right?
That's right, yeah.
When did you start Laser Marking Technologies?
If you roll back, we were doing contract work for a laser company in Frankenmuth called Techno Laser.
Okay.
And that would have been in roughly 2001, 2002. We were doing the control wiring for that company. Mm-hmm. They went bankrupt in 2005. We bought them out of bankruptcy. Brought the main founder of that company into my company as a 50% partner. That's when we went from our controls company over to Laser Marking Technologies officially in 2006. So that rolled forward to where we're at today, where we've operating in 4 states, where we are build and design everything here in Michigan. Mm-hmm. Every cabinet is built here in Michigan, American steel. Even the powder coat that we use, we try to specify always to use American-made products where we can. It's a global economy. We can't do it with everything, but we sure as heck try to. So we went through that up until about 2016, and then we retired the partner. Mm-hmm. We were kind of flatlining our sales, and then took it over 100%. At that time, I was in charge of finance and all engineering and production and everything. And my partner was in charge of the marketing and trade shows. From that day forward, that's when I took the whole thing on and then put the best people I could find underneath me. There's that saying that I've always remember hearing is this hire your weakness. And
absolutely.
So the areas that I wasn't strong in, especially when it's direct sales to a customer, it's not exactly my best operative, I guess, that I have, because I get frustrated with it, however it might be, and the sales guys can walk them through. And I found a lot of people like to be sold. They like to get that phone call back,
right? Where
I'm like, here's the quote and here's the specs. You are looking at another quote, and you see our prices 10%, whatever, better value. And if you can't understand that, then you're probably too stupid to be my customer. Right. Well, hold on, that's not not the way to be, right? And I realized that really quick, that I had to get the sales guys, engineers that are true engineers, to sell the machines and really work with the customers all the way through.
So a very important point you made there is it's not our job as business people to be the smartest or the best, right?
Well, you're damn right, yeah.
It's our job is to find the smartest, the best, the brightest, right?
That's right.
If you enter in a room of your employees and if you're the smartest guy in there, guess what? You're in trouble.
I always say that too.
Right. You want people that are better than you. I know I have issues, and issues is putting it very softly, with social media, computers. I do not understand that. I get a kick out of when we're in a meeting and we're talking about social media. They laugh and they say, "You see how his eyes glazed over? He has no idea what you're talking about." I have a small idea of what you're talking about, but it is definitely appropriate if we or anybody else is looking to build a successful business, your goal is to find people that are far smarter, have more talent than what we do. So you said you started in 2006.
Yeah.
So we're looking at 2025 now.
Right.
You're very successful. I think you're one of only one other, or maybe two other laser companies in the States. Is that correct?
Right, that's the truth. There's very few of us out there that are in the same, niche or marketplace that
Right.
we're in, where we're building industrial workstations on scale. So
Okay.
we're building, hundreds of these a year. So the other companies that are out there, they might be building a one-off or something like that for a laser gantry system that'll do an entire Gen Air refrigerator set or something to that effect.
Okay.
There are other companies out there, but not ones that are building north of 400 machines a year, like we do. Now, just recently, our one competitor that I have a lot of respect for, Mecco Laser out of Pennsylvania, they were privately ran for, probably 100 years. They came from the pin stamping industry.
Okay.
And they were purchased about 2 weeks ago to Brady Corporation. Now, Brady is the company that we use their equipment when we build our machines, because we can print our wire labels on their little printers, on the stickers, and then wrap the wire with which, if it's 201 or whatever wire number it is, we use their equipment. So they bought Mecco Laser about 2 weeks ago, and that's a publicly traded company. So that's, for us, we look at it, that's a good thing, because typically what happens is when you go that public, when you go that large, you can't get in the weeds on some of the custom builds, because it's a complicated thing. It's really hard for the bean counters to track margins and everything on that stuff. And so whenever a company, we've seen this happen with Rolfin Laser probably, 10 years ago, they got bought up by a conglomerate called Coherent, and they stopped manufacturing these, 2-3 type of custom machines that these people would want, whether it's a tag feeder type machine. Was a customer we have down in Tennessee that was buying from Rolfin Laser. When they got bought out, they couldn't get support on that equipment anymore, because it was just, hey, we're not doing it anymore, because doesn't fit our business model. We can't bring this to scale because this is 1 or 2 type machines. Well, there's good margin on them, but there's a lot of work that goes behind it.
Right.
And then that company reached out to us, and them actually are on every power pole out there that has a transformer on it. Your delta Y and all your different symbols and whatnot, the weight of the transformer is all lasered onto that. So that's the type of stuff we do. And then tying back to databases, we call them cookie cutter machines that people have out there that are just trying to, a lot of them are just bringing it in from China, slapping an American sticker on it. Doesn't say made in America, but they want to portray that, and then they sell the machine, but they don't really have the understanding or the automation of data, pulling the information from an Excel or whatever SQL database that they have, bringing that right into laser, and then making a tag automatically, and then releasing it to production so it can be attached to that transformer. And that's one other part of our company is we call it the automation of data. It's an extremely important thing in today's day. Automating it, getting all the hands off of it so the customers can't make a mistake. Right. That's the biggest thing.
So it sounds to me that you're committed to Made in the USA primarily, right?
Absolutely.
Anything you can do here, you do here, right?
Absolutely.
What's the reason for that? I know I have my own reasoning for what we do here at Boss Hammer.
Yeah.
But let's hear what you've got to say is, why is it so important to keep things here at home here in the USA?
Yeah, man, I can boil it down real quick. If we just get like 10% more manufacturing to the U.S. that's gone overseas over the last 50 years, that 10% back here means the world to us. Okay?
Right.
Because them 10%, that's a lot at that point. And they're going to need to laser etch and or weld and put information down on their product.
Right.
And then who are they going to turn to? Well, it's companies like us that they're going to
Right.
turn to. And it has. We've seen it uptick. We've seen the reshoring of companies that were making wrenches and whatnot. And one of them was actually in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And they're bringing more and more reshoring it. And so we get the upside of that.
Let's stop. I want to jump in right here because this is something that really interests me, and maybe you can help me understand it, and maybe we can see where you fall on what side of the fence. Now, we've got union and non-union, right? And I'm sure you'll be in agreement. We support both, right?
Absolutely.
I know here at Boss, we support both union and non-union. Is there any justification, and this could be thin ice right here that I'm on, is there any way that union members can or should justify purchase of foreign-made products or tools?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. At the end of the day, they're going to buy based on the quality, the performance of the item, right?
Quality is most important.
So if you go all the way back, and this is the thing, like if you go back to when the Japanese vehicles and whatnot first started coming into the USA, right? You could take a BB, right, a 177 diameter BB, and you could roll it right through their body line gaps and it wouldn't fall through. And you take a Chevy, unfortunately at the time, and you couldn't put a marble down that thing without it falling through. The body gaps were horrendous, right?
Right.
So that type of foreign stuff right there, that pushed Americans to do better and to make it higher quality at that point, in all honesty. Where the rub or grind with me when it's foreign components coming in is when they're heavily subsidized on the backside by that country. We can roll all the way back to the Trump tariffs that started essentially in 17 on his first time through.
Sure.
So he said, hey, on this foreign steel that's coming from China, we are not going to buy that. We are not going to buy that because you're subsidizing the heck out of the energy that it takes to produce that steel. That's the number one cost driver for anybody melting steel is the energy, typically, electricity or the gas. And Trump was right. Well, here's the thing. This might upset some people, but here's the other part. China says, hey, we're not buying them soybeans from you anymore, America. Right. Because you subsidize the heck out of your farmers. Well, in my opinion, and this is where I have a lot of friends that are farmers, but in my opinion, I mean, both were right. And they both were pretty, hard about it, and they weren't moving. Right. And then we just keep rolling forward. But yeah, there are subsidies in there that's where it does, grind it, where it's like, okay, if this is a heavily subsidized product coming in by another country, that's where, free trade and stuff like that it's not quite free trade. Because we don't get subsidized in manufacturing. I bet you don't. You don't see Uncle Sam giving you a check to say, hey, make that in America or make that in Michigan. Right. It's the opposite for us, right? Right. I mean, in manufacturing, we've never seen any kind of. I don't think we've had a president that could pronounce the word manufacturing until we've seen Trump come in. Again, I don't want to be political here. Right. I'm just saying, finally, it's it's on the front burner. It's happening. You like Mike Rowe and everybody's been saying this for years. You know?
Well, we're starting to see more realization from people that things need to be made here at home. The government needs to step up to the plate, and they need to help folks like us that are in business, that we're doing the manufacturing here, right? Support of the trades, a level playing field should be appealing to everyone. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah. Rather than
it's really not that I want a hand, from the government. I want them to leave me alone. Right. I mean, it's not like EPA or anything like that type of stuff because we don't really produce anything that has any off gassing or oils that are going to have them come in. But other people have that problem. Right. And so basically, just like stay out of it. If your employees are taken care of, they stay there. You don't have to have forced, let's call it subsidies coming from, the state level or whatever it is that's going to, basically dictate how they get paid and whatnot. What is made here? Because if they're going to use a Hilti, right? Where's Hilti made? I don't know. If you're lucky, it's
German made, but at a minimum, in my conversation with people, I always want them to look here at home if they can purchase it here at home. If they can't purchase a product that's made here, at least purchase a product that's made by our allies. Does that make sense? Yeah. Now, we've got people out there that they are in direct opposition to us, right? China, for an example, right? I would rather see a product that is manufactured in Germany or Mexico. These people are known as our allies, right? Rather than going and buying something from
communist
countries, right? I think that's wise. And I know there's situations where things are not made here, and you do have to look outside of the U.S. and say, maybe bite your tongue or whatever and say, I'm going to have to purchase it. Right. So, but it is refreshing to see the Made in America mantra is getting louder. Well, I believe each and every day, right?
Right. We see it. We run DeWalt tools in our production area, and if you shop it, you'll find the ones that are assembled in America of globally sourced, components. Correct. They do I don't want to say they do as much as they can, but they do a lot. Where it's still cost competitive, price competitive, and it's made here in America. Milwaukee Tool, basically it's their customer of ours as well, and definitely the bandsaw blades and other things that use lasers. I'll leave it at kind of like that, but I mean they are making that in America as much as they can. Flip side is they got to stay competitive too. They got shareholders to answer to, and that's where it gets tricky when.
There's no doubt. It's definitely tricky, and I am thankful, again, not to be political like you said, I am thankful for our higher-ups that are pushing this reshoring effort, right? Bringing it back here home, making it right here. Because we're the guys that, just in our small world around here, we're the guys that support our local Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts benefits and stuff like that. We keep the money locally. If we're going to do a build, it makes sense to hire local contractors and so on. So it is definitely appropriate to make it here and spend it here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's our number one objective, is to keep it here.
Keep it.
Yeah, and then, back to the trades, we're talking about, getting the trades, getting kids into that. Have the choice if you want to go to college, that's fine, whatever. But when I was growing up, man, it was like, if you're going to go to the tech center, which is really the start of the trades.
Right.
In Michigan, every county has a vocational tech center where you can do HVAC, you can do electrical, powertrain, auto body, food services, you can be a certified nurse's aide, and that's all free. Once you're a junior in high school, you can do that for half of a day throughout the year and get your certificate at the end of it. And when I was coming up through, that was just for if you were stupid, basically, is where they would send you, right?
Right.
And that's how they treated us. And it was like, what the heck,
Right.
Now, now the people that really optimized that and went through it, they're making really good money, and they don't have any debt load coming out of it.
Right. Yesterday, we were I was a participant in a VOTEC training at our local county VOTEC school.
In Carroll, then.
In Carroll, yeah. We were there for 2 classes, the morning class and the afternoon class. I think they had about 30 students in the morning and 30 in the afternoon, and he said there was a waiting list because of the size of the facility of 20 to 30 students. Now, I know approximately 2 weeks ago we were at Sanilac, and they have, I think, 50 in the morning and 50 in the afternoon, and they too have a waiting list, and it's refreshing to see both young men and young women, they are learning, and they give us the opportunity to explain why we think it's beneficial to, at a minimum, look at the trades, right?
Right.
Not everybody's cut out for the trades, but not everybody's cut out for college. If they go down the path of a college education, first and foremost, they're probably going to be bringing about debt, right? Whereas if you were probably like me, you went on the job and they started paying you from minute one when you started, right? You started learning the electrical trade. I started learning the carpentry trade on the commercial jobs, and it's been very, very beneficial. And I think the future is extremely bright for anybody involved in the trades. I know you and I in our business, if we have to hire anybody that's considered a tradesman, the price goes right through the roof nowadays, right? They're hard to find. And getting them scheduled is even more difficult because there's less and less and less of them. So back to your history, I can see that this hasn't been a overnight success for you. You started in 06. What has been probably some of the most difficult hurdles for you to overcome? Has it been finding labor, employees? Has it been financing? What's it been?
Marketing.
Marketing.
Marketing is
okay, so let's stop right there because I find that, too, at Boss to be the biggest obstacle, the biggest hurdle to get over. So just for the folks that are listening, what is marketing?
Marketing to us, well, we're doing it right now, right? It's the social, it's getting our product out in front of people. There's nothing more disheartening is to go to a trade show after you've been in business, 18 years and someone say, yeah, I bought from wherever. China, wherever, never even heard of you guys before.
Right.
And we're going, holy heck, man, we are spending X amount on this, this, and this a year, and, do you live under a rock? Well, no. I mean, the guy did his due diligence, I'm sure, when he bought, but it's just, so that drives me absolutely nuts. So marketing, yeah.
Building a brand, right? Getting your name out there in front of the people, so at a minimum, you're in the top 1, 2, or 3 that people look at, right? They understand that if they're looking, in your case, if they're looking for a laser, LMT pops to the surface, right?
It should, but you wouldn't believe the amount of people that will pay for our name, Laser Marketing Technologies. Google AdWords will allow them to pay to use our name to show their company underneath it. So if you type in Laser Marketing Technologies, you'll see company 1, 2, 3, some Chinese people, whatever, underneath it, and they're paying about $4 a click to use our name. So for even to use our own name as an AdWord in Google, we're north of $4 a click.
So how does a master electrician get through this? This is a $10 million question, right? How do you get around that? How do you
You're back to hire your weakness, right? I mean,
Yep.
But see, even though we can bring a firm on to help with SEO, to help with different things, to drive clicks into the website and whatnot, they don't always keep up with stuff. We're seeing so much with the AI and how questions are posed into Google and whatnot, and the whole answer coming back. A couple years ago it was snippets, and they would answer the question. And you'd want to have your website designed to answer snippets so that Google can do that. But now it's like, okay, whole thing redesign in the background of how to handle what's happening and really keeping up on it. And things are moving at warp speed right now in that arena. We have a meeting this afternoon with 2 or 3 of our different companies we outsource some of our marketing assistants to, and to go over different things. We've tried, over the air commercials with Fox Media, Fox News,
right,
and nothing. We didn't get anything out of it. For the amount we spent, it was just throwing money away for us. We got one phone call basically for X amount of money spent on it, and
that's just
learn quick. It's a thing you got to learn really quick.
Right.
It's like if this isn't working, you're keeping a really tight on it daily, watching the metrics, analyzing it, the analytics on it, and saying, is this coming in or not? Because it's our money we're spending.
Right.
It's not like there's we have shareholders and whatnot that are funding this, however you want to say it. It's our money that's going out, and we got to make sure we're going to get that ROI on it. And if we're not, we're immediately modifying or twisting or shutting that part down, and then go on to the next thing.
Well, the sign of a true leader is the ability to change course, right? If it's not working, you have to turn on a dime. You got to say, folks, we're spending X here and we're getting no return on this thing.
Right.
So we've got to try a different avenue. Now, I know when you started in 2006, social media, was pretty much
there was none.
Non-existent, right?
No, but Google AdWords, that's when we first started using it, yeah. Well, what else is there? I guess there's Bing, there's another one, out there, but it's funny because they just went through an antitrust suit again. It was just in the courts this past week with Google on that kind of stuff, and it's not going to change. I mean, Google's going to remain the king on it, and that's where we'll concentrate. Obviously, our efforts is with them, adapt to how they're indexing it, how they're looking for customers, how they're looking for our site, how they're going to find us. That's the hardest thing, man.
So marketing is the biggest obstacle to get over.
Yeah.
Was there a period in time in the last 19 years where there was really a tight spot? Where you say...
08, 09. Yeah. I think in 08, 09, at that point, we were still doing control wiring, industrial wiring throughout Michigan. And when 08, 09 happened in Michigan especially, that just pushed all of that type of work right down and out.
Now, when you say control wiring, explain that to the folks. What's control wiring?
So, for us, it was a lot of different machinery that needed to be automated.
Yep.
We've always done that. If you go all the way back, when I got out of tech center in Michigan, then I went to a college for I had enough money to go 1 year, and I went to Alpena Community College, a few hours north of here. They were the only college at the time that would allow an electrical apprenticeship to start for a student that wasn't backed by a company like GM.
Okay.
So Delta had it. Delta Community College had it in the Saginaw Bay area, and then Mott had it in Flint.
Yep.
They had these programs, but seeing that I wasn't employed by General Motors or any of those companies, I wasn't allowed to take those classes.
Ineligible. Yep.
Yeah, you just couldn't take it. And I went. My dad worked at AC Sparkplug. That's where we retired out of in Flint. And I went there, and to apply for it, and they said, you're not the right demographic. This is we're looking for this and this and this, and these other demographics are going to get spotted 15 points on that test. So even if you ace it, it's going to be hard to get in. And in the end, it was a blessing because it's a parking lot now at Dorton Averill in Flint. It's just, there's nothing there. The whole plant's gone. Every spark plug that was made for any GM vehicle came out of that plant. And that's all gone. But yeah, rolling forward from there, it was a transition to figure it out, start in trades, go through the path of, after 1 year of college in Alpena, and then worked for a contractor that we were running conduit, running pipe. And that's where I ran into you guys.
Yep.
You were from our area, so it was
Yep.
cool to see you guys a couple hours from here. So it's like, you have lunch and
Yep.
guys from home there. And then from there, the biggest thing that got me down the path of control wiring was there's a foundry in Pigeon, Michigan called Huron Castings.
Yep.
And so they were picking up work at the time, because we're talking the early 90s, for Desert Storm. So this is where, unpopular as the phrase can be, is trickle-down economics, I guess, because they were awarded the contract in Abram Steel Foundry.